Tonight's broadcast is really special. I'm really excited about doing this tonight. We're going to change the format up a bit, and we're going to devote pretty much the entire broadcast to this particular topic that we're going to talk about tonight. And the topic is district captains. In Indiana, in our Convention of States, Indiana, we have district captains. And we're going to explain this to you. Hopefully, there'll be someone out there that might be interested in becoming a district captain. District captain is one of the key leadership positions in our organization. Now, to help this discussion along, I'm going to bring in Gary Harbaugh, who is our co-state director of operations. And Gary is in charge then of all the region captains and district captains. By the way, I just forgot that I didn't introduce myself. I'm Dale Parrish. I'm the state director for Convention of States here in Indiana. So I want to welcome you again to our broadcast tonight. Like I said, I think we have a very special broadcast for you. Gary and I are going to spend pretty much the entire broadcast talking about district captains in our Convention of States organization here in Indiana. Now, before we get involved in that discussion, I want to once again issue the standard warning that I always issue, and that is, in the event your screen would freeze up or go blank, please assume that we've encountered a technical problem. And I don't want you to hang on and wait for us to come back on, because it just takes too long to get everything up and running again. So I don't want you to wait around for us to come back on. Please just put on your calendar, mark your calendar for next Monday evening at 7 p.m. and we'll be there to talk with you again. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Gary up into the broadcast. And there's Gary. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Dale. How are you?
Good, good. So, Gary, we're going to now. I want to also explain that Gary and I are going to go through a little discussion period here on district captains and what we expect out of district captains, what their responsibilities are. Then I want to bring up a PowerPoint that I put together to show you what some of our district captains have been doing this year in and around the state of Indiana. And I hope you find that exciting, because we've had a lot of district captains around the state doing I think, some very exciting things. So I hope you enjoy seeing that. So Gary, let's you and I get started here, and let's talk about our topic this evening of district captains. And let me get this up here. Now, Gary, I know you and I both have, there you go. You and I both have come up through the ranks, so to speak, as district captains. You were a district captain, a region captain, and now co-state director. And I've gone through pretty much the same ranks, district captain, region captain, and now a state director. So do you agree? I mean, I think a district captain in our organization is a pretty key position. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, Dale, really want to emphasize that the district captain is really the most important role in Convention of States, because it is the district captain who will build a relationship with their legislator and be the one that's boots on the ground, collecting petition signatures, getting face to face with people and spreading the word. And, those are two of the key roles for a district captain.
Yeah. I've always kind of thought of the district captains as the sales force. If you wanted to relate that to the business, the sales force, they're the ones, like you said, boots on the ground. They're out there interacting with customers and bringing the business into the organization. So there's certainly now. That's not to say we don't have other key people and positions, but I do believe a district captain is kind of what our organization is built around. Now let's talk about then our state organization, how we're organized. You want to delve into that then?
Yeah, we can talk a little bit about that. So in Indiana, there are district captains at the level of state House of Representatives districts, where our goal is to have a district captain in each one of those districts. The next in line is really, in a sense, beneath that are the region captains, because they're there to support district captains. And then there's a host of statewide support roles, legislative liaison, communications, a variety of things. And then we have a state director who, guides and directs the organization.
Yeah, he really doesn't do anything, quite honestly.
I don't believe that. And I would
Just
say too about the district captains that it is such an important role, and we describe it in a rightly so, in a sense, as the sales force. But it doesn't have to be a sale. We don't look for salespeople. We look for people who are passionate about being active and involved in helping to save our country from continuing down the path that we're on, that we think is not a good path. So if you're passionate about that, and a little later on, we're going to tell you how to apply.
right.
So if people are listening, just hang on. We'll get to that.
Okay. All right. So, like you said, we've got 100 lower house districts across the state of Indiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our goal then is to have a district captain in each one of those districts. All right. So, and I just might mention, you mentioned region captains, and then we have the state divided into 9 regions, but that's we won't get into that. The important thing is that there are 100 districts, and our goal is to someday have 100 district captains in place, and so a district captain in each one of those districts. Okay, let's start talking now about the responsibilities of a district captain. And the very first and one of the main responsibilities of the district captain has to do with his or her legislators. You want to delve into that, Gary?
Yeah, I tell people that I want a district captain who will build a relationship with their state legislators, both the state rep and state senator. And by that, I mean, it's more than just telling them about convention of states. It's getting acquainted with that state legislator, finding out what his or her interests are, what kind of areas they're passionate about, to understand the state legislator. Why did they run? Why are they there? What do they hope to accomplish? And, we want this to be a two-way street where we understand them, they understand us, and what our issues are. And it's an ongoing, relationship where they might meet quarterly or maybe more often. If the state legislator has a town hall, we want that district captain to be there, and as well as conduct an occasional meeting now and then with the legislator and other formats, but to build that relationship so they know each other, understand each other.
Right. Now, you mentioned the legislators, the district captain's legislators. So those are the ones we would consider assigned legislators, right?
Right. That would be the legislator for the district where they live. So it's
right.
They are their, that is their state representative or their state senator.
So it's their state representative and their state senator. Those are the assigned legislators for each district.
Correct.
Right. Okay. Now, we also have another category of legislators and this is our terminology for this group of legislators, and that is targeted legislators. You want to talk about those, Gary?
Yeah. So Indiana is a passed state, as your listeners probably know. We have passed the resolution calling for a convention of states. And since that passed several years ago, there have been a lot of new folks elected to the state House of Representatives and the state Senate. And many of those, we see those as key people because they weren't there when it passed the first time. They may not know about it. So we want to make sure that they understand what we're doing and why. And so we target them because we don't know where they stand. There are also people, folks on the Senate Rules and Legislative Procedure Committee, who are the key senators that have the committee that will deal with changes to the Indiana law, if any should take place related to convention of states, and then likewise the House Judiciary Committee. So people on those two committees, we consider them also targeted. That it's important that we build that relationship with those people, especially.
Okay. All right. Good. Good. So we've got assigned legislators and targeted legislators. So obviously, the main responsibility we're talking about here for the district captain is to make contact with these legislators, develop that relationship where they can. So I always tell the district captain applicants that you will become the contact person for that legislator in his or her district. If they have any questions about convention of states, you would be the contact person for that legislator, and they should know your name and how to get in touch with you. So
Yeah, that's very important.
so the legislator responsibility is a very key responsibility. All right, let's then move into the next main area and main responsibility of the district captain, and that is growing the grassroots. So the grassroots, I always define to DC, to district captain applicants, the grassroots would be you, me, and our state legislators. So that's what comprises the grassroots. Would you agree?
Yeah, the grassroots really is everybody who has joined our cause. There are about 35,000 people in the state of Indiana who've signed our petition and joined with us in this cause. And we want to grow that grassroots. We want to turn 35,000 to 55,000 to 100,000. We want to continually build the grassroots by spreading the word, bringing more and more people into an understanding of what we're doing and why. And that can be done in a variety of ways, but that's a big part of the job, is just spreading the word.
That's right. That's right. And we've got nationwide, where we just went over 4 million supporters nationwide. So, and as far as Indiana is concerned, you're right. We're over 35,000 here in Indiana. Now, let's just quickly identify some of the ways that the district captain can carry out this effort of spreading the word and talking to people, trying to get them to join our movement. And one of the ways is a town hall meeting. And I know you've conducted town hall meetings, and I've conducted town hall meetings. You mentioned this earlier. As a matter of fact, I'm going to a town hall meeting that is being held by one of our targeted legislators, as far as that's concerned. Tomorrow, I'm going to attend that town hall meeting.
Good.
But we're talking about here where the district captain would actually conduct this meeting, right?
Right. District captains have, invited their friends, neighbors, acquaintances, people to town hall meetings. They might have it at a library or coffee shop or YMCA, anywhere they can get people together to talk about the convention of states and explain what we're doing and why.
Right.
Those are definitely grassroots activities that we encourage.
Now, a couple of the other ways that this can be done, the information table. We're going to show some examples of that in our PowerPoint. But you want to talk a bit about information tables and what the purpose is behind those?
Yeah, broadly speaking, there's two ways we can reach the grassroots. One is try to bring people to meetings that we hold. The other way is for us to go where people are. So we may have an information table at a fair. We may have it at a gun show. We may have it any kind of a festival or place where there are a lot of people who come out and give us an opportunity to get face to face with people and have a chat about what we're doing and why.
Right. A couple other methods. This broadcast is intended to be a broadcast to reach out to those individuals in the state that might be interested in joining us. So this, folks, this is an effort. This broadcast is an effort at growing the grassroots. And we have had district captains come on and make presentations, and hope to have more of them come on the broadcast and be a guest speaker, just like Gary is. I'll mention one more activity in growing the grassroots. This was the first that this summer was we had a district captain put together a team of people and march in a Labor Day parade and hand out items about convention of states. So you'll get to see that in the PowerPoint that we're going to do. So a lot of different ways, Gary, to get out and get people involved in convention of states. Don't know that any one way is the secret. It is hard work, but there are various ways. The main point here is that we need a person in the role of district captain that's willing to do this. So that's the point we're trying to get at here.
Right. And, people can just talk, personally to people they know. And it's any way that you can make it work to spread the word. And yeah, there's
Okay.
all kinds of ways, and we just leave it up really to a district captain to, with their own creativity, think, how can they get face to face with people. And the parade, I thought that was a terrific idea. One of the things that we know is just as you know from advertising, that it takes often multiple impressions for people to buy into a brand name, for an example. And so people may see that banner in the parade and not know anything about it, but the next time they see it, they'll say, hey, I saw that before.
Exactly.
And so we want to be out there and be visible and, get as many opportunities as we can to spread our message. And any way that a district captain, we leave it up to their creativity. They can invent a new idea on how to get face to face with people. We say that's great.
Great. Okay. Then the final area of responsibility has to do with communications. And we're going to have some examples of this in our PowerPoint as well. But the main thing here that we're trying to get at is we want the district captain to generate a newsletter to his or her supporters in the district. And we have the ability to do that. We have the capability technology-wise to do that. So then that newsletter then is a way to communicate on a monthly basis, ideally at least, what's going on at their district level, what's going on at the state level, and a little bit about what's going on nationally.
Right.
Correct?
And Dale, one of the things that people should know is that we have tremendously good quality technical tools to help us do this job, to know who the people are in our state house district who have signed the petition, who the people are who said, "Hey, I'll volunteer. I'll take more of an active role." And it's critical that we communicate with those people and let them know what's going on. If we're having an activity, if we're going to have a town hall, we want to let maybe we've invited other people, but we want to be able to let everybody know within the district that we're going to do that town hall. We have the tools available for people to spread the word, and we probably need more skill in using them, but the tools are there. And we do provide training as well for district captains, so
yeah,
they can learn how to use those tools.
We're going to touch a little bit on the training program here. Let's, okay, Gary, I'm going to bring in the PowerPoint and let's get going on it. And we will then hopefully be able to point out some of these things. Now, I'm going to try my best to open this up and make it as big as I can on the screen, and hopefully you and I will not get lost in the shuffle here. And
I see it.
Well, it's not showing up on my screen as yet. Now we're going. Okay. All right, you still there, Gary?
I'm still here.
All right, good. All right, we want to go through some activities of our district captains for the year 2019 that we've captured. We go over these every month in our state call to all of our leaders, and we try to, of course, recognize individuals and what they're in their efforts to carry out their duties. So let's get started here. We mentioned, Gary, briefly about a training program. We do have a district captain training program broken down into 6 modules, and we cover all the areas that we feel are very important for a district captain to have a knowledge of before that individual steps out and really becomes and starts to function as a district captain. So
right, Dale. I think this is real important because a lot of times you ask people to do a job, they're like, gee, I wouldn't know how to do that. And we train people. We will walk through training. They don't have to go anywhere. It's online. We provide the training so they'll understand what their job is, how to best perform it.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, let's talk about legislators now. Like we said, we like to see the district captain actually meeting with the legislator, either at the legislator's office or some other agreed upon meeting place. But another way to make contact with legislators is at Lincoln Day dinners. And here you see where this was me in the red vest, and that's Gary down here in the lower right-hand corner. And we attended Lincoln Day dinners and made contact with particular legislators while we were there, just to say hi and thank them for their support. Again, just making contact. Am I correct, Gary?
That's right. And part of building that relationship is that you see them at these events, they recognize us, we recognize them. It's a good opportunity for a meet and greet because we do have that relationship, and we're building it.
And here's a couple more examples of Lincoln Day dinners. Individuals, these are district captains, region captain that attended Lincoln Day dinner and made contact with legislators. Here on the left is he's a region captain now, Richard Loken. He actually gave Representative Jack Jordan a copy of Mark Levin's Liberty Amendments. I thought that was a very, very good addition to to his meeting him at a Lincoln Day dinner. I thought that was a very good idea. Very good idea.
That's a great way to help educate the legislators, give them something like that.
I think this was Thomas Schultz, our region captain on the right here, actually met the Indiana Attorney General, Curtis Hill, at one of the Lincoln Day dinners. So now another way of now we get into growing the grassroots. Now this is another way to get the word out to people about convention estates, and that's attending or being a guest on a radio station, radio interview. This particular case was actually a tri-state interview that was attended by one of our district captains, Larry Wee, and this was in the Cincinnati area, and the radio program invited him and a convention estates individual from Ohio and one from Kentucky, and they did a joint interview on the radio program. I thought it was very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, Dale, many people don't go to fairs, gun shows, or may not be at the parade. And there are some people that we can reach the radio. And most of these talk radio programs are interested in bringing on guests. And so we encourage district captains to try to build a relationship with the media in their market. There's some strong possibility on those shows. That's a great way to spread the word of the grassroots.
Right. Okay. Well, as a matter of fact, I don't have a picture yet posted, but Gary was on our local talk show here in Fort Wayne, Whoa Radio. Gary was on there today, right, Gary?
I was indeed on Pat Miller program.
Pat Miller program did a great job. So, and we've had other convention estates individuals, district captains, as well as other leadership individuals that have appeared on radio programs. Very, like Gary said, another good way to get the word out about convention estates. Okay, let's get into some of the information tables that have been conducted during this year. And this was a gun and knife show here in Fort Wayne, conducted in January of this year. And Gary, I know you were there. That's Gary here on the left. So that was a very good gun show, right, Gary?
It really was. Notice there were folks there. There were four of us that worked at different times. There might have been another two who was there at other times. It's just a great opportunity to have conversations, people walking by, and people are interested in learning about doing and why. We talk about the limit the federal government. We're all ears.
Okay. Yeah, the gun show seems to be a very good platform or a good venue for what we're trying to do here. Now, we came back, that was January. We came back, I believe, in March and did it again. These are the individuals that took care of that booth in March. And we set a record at that gun show, right, Gary? We had something like 255 convention estates petitions signed.
We did. We had a lot of petitions. And one of the things there, the colored gentleman, the dark colored head paraguay, they're that to hold our banners and get they're very visible, which is big help.
Very good. All right. Here's another group up in Plymouth. Our Richard Loken, who was district captain at the time, conducted a town hall meeting, and he also attended a Lincoln Day dinner up in the area where Candace Owen was the guest speaker. So that was another good touch. And here are some other information tables that took place during the year 2019, mainly this past summer. We had an information table down at the Hamilton County 4-H Fair in Hamilton County, Indiana. We had an information table at the Franklin County Fair, Franklin County, Indiana. And we also had one of our district captains, Victoria Mooring, conducted an information table at the Huntington County 4-H Fair here in Huntington, Indiana. And I wanted you to comment on this one because not only did she conduct the information table, but she also was able to meet with a legislator.
Right. Dale, one of the things that happens is that state legislators they want face-to-face constituents and meet people. So if they're at these fairs, sometimes they will be. It's a great opportunity to not only talk to the public, but also meet with the state legislator and continue to build that relationship. And they see that we're out here to people, and that's important. They understand we're spreading our message, and that makes them realize we're serious about doing, and we can also then understand that out people and know what on people's mind.
Right. Good opportunities. Okay, we need to move along here. Another information table at the Danville Night Out Against Crime. That was in Danville, Indiana. That was conducted by one of our co-district captains, Courtney Love. Okay. Then here is the parade I was talking about. This was the Labor Day parade that was held in Plymouth, Indiana. Again, Richard Loken headed this up. This was the team that he put together to march in the Labor Day parade. Those, I believe, are his two children there. So it was a
family.
Huh?
Made it a family.
Yeah. So a good time. And I just wanted to mention is in the area of communications, here are some examples of newsletters that some of our people are putting out. John Donka out of District 3 up in the northwest corner of the state. And Thomas Schultz, region captain down in Region 6, put out a newsletter. We got, again, Courtney Love put out a newsletter in District 28. So those are just some examples. There's Richard Loken again. He also put out a newsletter. So we had quite a few newsletters get produced this past summer and past year. So really, the communications part of their job was really done very well. We wanted to wrap this up once again with, if you're interested at all in becoming a district captain, go to our national website, conventionestates.com, click on the menu selection, Take Action, and scroll down and look at the different volunteer positions that we have available. And we would very much, if you have any desire, please look at the district captain position. Open it up, read about it. If you're interested, make application. You're not obligated in any way, but make application. And then what happens is your name comes up on a report that I see and some others see every day. Then one of us will be in contact with you to talk further about your interest in being a district captain. Please give that consideration. We would love to have more district captains in our group. Okay, let me go back here to the broadcast area, and I'll send that out. And Gary, I think that's it. You got any closing words words of wisdom that you would like to pass along?
I'll just pass along something. I think it was MJ Alexander from out in Arizona. He was at a meeting once, and Somebody said to him, you're just going to sit home and yell at the TV, or you're going to get out and do something about, what's going on in our country. And he decided that he would get involved. I'd say the same thing to you guys. If you're concerned about the direction of government, don't just sit home and complain. Join us, because we are doing something to rein in the federal government.
Very good. Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you, Dale.
All right, let's start to wrap things up here for the evening. I want to recognize some of the individuals that have tuned in for us tonight. And here is Betty Roman. Betty, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Here's our friend James Cressy. James has become a regular viewer, and I think appreciate him coming in again this evening to be with us. He has made a comment here that we should create billboards. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. And especially billboards to encourage the remaining states to get aboard. So I would agree that's a good idea. We also have Jerry Rowe, who's one of our other Convention of States leaders here in Indiana. So appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. Now, next week, our broadcast, I'm going to have Paul Phillips is going to join me again. Paul has kind of been a regular on this broadcast. And Paul and I are going to talk about the Indiana Balanced Budget Amendment. And that should be very, very interesting. As you know, one of our main objectives in Convention of States is when we hold a convention, and one of the areas that we want to be addressed has to do with fiscal restraints, so that we can address the national debt that faces this country. So I think the Indiana Balanced Budget Amendment would be a very good topic for us to talk about, and maybe that will lead us into discussing more about the national debt situation. So that'll be next Monday evening, October 7th. Paul Phillips, Indiana Balanced Budget Amendment. All right, let me bring in then my standard closing here. And I just love this quote so much. This is a quote that one of our founders, Mark Meckler, made, and I've always just liked it, and that is that he says that, there's a fundamental question facing our country today, and the question is not, what should we do? The question is, who will decide? And I think that has become the issue, and we within Convention of States, obviously, we believe that we, the people, should have a greater say-so in making these decisions. So the question facing us is a two-word question, very simply, who decides? And in Convention of States, we believe we, the people, should have a greater role in these decisions. That's it for tonight. I know we've gone a little over time. We like to keep this to 30 minutes, and we've gone a little bit over that tonight. So appreciate you staying with us, and have a nice evening, have a good evening, and have us on your calendar for next Monday evening, 7 o'clock. Once again, anyone interested in becoming a district captain here in Indiana, go to the website, conventionofstates.com. Take a look at those different positions and look closely at the district captain position. We'd love to have your participation. Thank you all. Good night, everyone.